So yeah, let's get started. Welcome everyone. We're very excited to be in this session today. We're gonna talk a bit about sales tax inside Odoo with our master Odoo sales tax compliance in 2005 with TaxCloud and Sodexis. So we hope you leave this session with a better understanding of how TaxCloud and Sodexis can help you figure out sales tax inside Odoo. So today with us, we'll have Stephan, the CEO of Sodexis. Stephan has more than 20 years of experience in business process analysis, ERP, successful ERP implementations. Patrick Riley, joining from TaxCloud. Patrick is our VP of Business Development. He's been with TaxCloud for more than 7 years now and has experience has been the driver really of tremendous growth in the company and helped grow our partner ecosystem and find amazing partners like Sodexis. And me, Nunbrit, product marketing manager at TaxCloud. I'll be kind of your moderator for this session. So yeah, on this slide, probably just tell you that we are certified. We have a certified Odoo integration, and this Sodexis has been a certified Odoo partner since 2012. So there's a wealth of experience and knowledge in the Odoo ecosystem coming from Sodexis, and to that experience of implementation, we joined the experience in sales tax from TaxCloud, which is more than 15 years working with sales tax compliance. And today, this is the agenda we'll cover. So just a few slides, very quick introduction about TaxCloud and Sodexis. Then Stephan is going to introduce you our TaxCloud connector for Odoo, show you how to install the TaxCloud module in Odoo version 17. And then we're going to run to a quick live demo where Stephan will cover basic features and improvements and features that were included in this new version. And also we'll reveal some of our plans for the future, some of the roadmap of improvements that will still be made to this connector. Patrick is gonna wrap it up with a few conclusions, and on the back end of our session, we'll have a Q&A. And for that, I will ask you to find that button with a small triangle and square and circle on the bottom right of your screens. You will see it there, and you'll find an option to submit questions. So that's what we're gonna use for the Q&A. But I'll again remind you of that later on. So yeah, please take it away, Patrick.
Well, great. Thanks, Nuno. And thanks, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to join us. We're excited about this webinar, and hopefully it'll be informative for everybody who's attending. Let me cover a little bit about TaxCloud, starting with our mission. Our mission is to make sales tax easy for businesses. And we do that through having a software platform that's easy to use, that operates at the speed of e-commerce through our tax API. We have a wonderful ecosystem of partners we work with, including folks like Sodexis in the Odoo space. We've been operating in the Odoo ecosystem now for nearly 10 years. Certainly in my 7.5 years, we were a partner before I joined the company. We do have currently over 2,000 companies who on a daily basis are using our platform, from small businesses to large marketplace partners who are generating over $1 billion worth of GMV through our platform. So our platform is highly scalable. One of the key advantages of TaxCloud is that we are a certified service provider under the Streamline sales tax program. For those of you who aren't familiar with that program, it's comprised of 24 states that got together really 25 years ago now to make sales tax administration easier for businesses. They did that in a few ways. Two of the top ways are all the states that are part of the program must have a simplified sales tax code. And the other requirement is that they all use a common web services interface that allows certified service providers such as TaxCloud to file electronically in bulk. The benefits of the Streamline program, or you're also here referred to as SST, is that for businesses that are remote sellers into a streamlined state, the services are fully subsidized. So you wouldn't pay us for registrations. You wouldn't pay us to file for you in those states. If you ever got audited in a streamlined state, we'd support you at no cost. And the reason for that is we get compensated by those states. So we get paid a commission based on the amount of sales tax we remit to them on a monthly basis. And I'll just add that before we get into more of the content is, TaxCloud has experienced tremendous growth over the past number of years. We are a private equity owned organization. That firm has been investing heavily in our business, and we're really excited about the opportunities that investment is providing for us. And with partners like Sodexis in the Odoo space, we look forward to continue to grow our share of the Odoo market regarding sales tax. So with that, I will turn it over to Stephan.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you all also for joining this presentation. We really appreciate you spending the time with us. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about Sodexis. So we've been an Odoo partner since 2012. We're working exclusively with Odoo. We are headquartered in the US, but we've presence across Europe, in France, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany mainly. We have 40 plus business analysts, developers, bookkeeper, and system administrators. So we really have all the role needed to do successful Odoo implementations. We have a portfolio of about 100 plus successful Odoo implementation. And nowadays we have more than 130 apps on the App Store. Okay? And we're working with both new and established Odoo customers. Really, our objective is to help manufacturing and distribution companies to improve their efficiency by implementing the Odoo ERP solution with the highest return on investment possible. Really, our objective is to help our customer go through the implementation process successfully, and we are really set up to help you at any level that you need. Okay, so we have helped very small customers that don't have any IT department, and then we do it all. But we have also helped, very large corporations that might have their own IT department, and then we just provide the missing knowledge. Okay, so that's to give you an idea of Sodexis. So let me jump now into the TaxCloud connector. So the TaxCloud connector that we are managing now is replacing the previously supported Odoo connector. And this connector, enables you to automatically calculate sales tax within the Odoo platform. Odoo actually released the code to TaxCloud, and TaxCloud then proceeded to ask us to help them supporting it. We were very happy when TaxCloud, approached us about that. We already had, many customers that were using TaxCloud, so for us to decide to support it was a no-brainer. And, we're really looking forward to continue that collaboration. So the connector includes 7 modules that they're all available on the Odoo app stores at no charge. So you can just go to the app stores and, search for TaxCloud and you'll find them. Note that bug fixing and new features will only be added to the new connector going forward. Odoo has no intention of continuing to support their own connector. Note that for previous version of Odoo, if you are using the Odoo connector, you should first migrate to V17 before transition to this new connector. So the new connector is available starting with V17, and of course the plan is to continue to support it through different versions of Odoo. Just a few words about installing the TaxCloud connector in Odoo V17. Really, the easiest way is to sign up for the Odoo onboarding package that TaxCloud is offering. If you sign up for that, you'll have full support of the Sodexis team. We'll test the installation in your system and then provide you with a demo in a training. So that's certainly the fastest way if you want to set up TaxCloud in your production system. But if you want to do it yourself, and if you have the knowledge, or if you have a team that can give you the support, you can download and install all the official TaxCloud module from the Odoo app stores, like any other third-party app. And then all what you need to do is to activate the main module, which is named Account TaxCloud, and this will actually activate all the needed module. And if you are using the Odoo connector, it will uninstall it and transfer all the data. Okay, so just be sure to not uninstall the Odoo connector modules directly. You have a risk of losing data. So even if you're using the Odoo connector currently on the V17, just install all the new modules and then activate that main module, and then everything will be taken care of for you. So very easy migration to this new connector. Okay. So I'm going to go now to the live demo. So here I am in V17 test system. I'm going to look first at the list of apps. I already defined a filter. Here you can see the 7 modules from Odoo connector, and here you can see the 7 new modules. So there's a corresponding one for each of the Odoo modules, and you can see that it covers the main module is for calculating taxes on the invoice. That's to calculate tax on the sales. There's an Amazon bridge that basically avoid recalculating the taxes. There's also a module for the the loyalty module. Actually, those 2 modules are for the loyalty, and there's also a module for the subscription and the e-commerce. Again, if you just install the main module, if you activate the main module, then it will detect what are the other modules that need to be installed based on the Odoo modules that you already installed previously. Notice also there's 2 extra new modules, TaxCloud exemption for the invoice and for the sales. Those are new modules that we published a few months ago that will enable you to manage the tax exemption directly from Odoo. So they'll be automatically uploaded to TaxCloud and taken into account when appropriate. I will not demo this part this time. This will be for probably another webinar at some point, but be aware that those exist, okay? And if you're familiar with some of the work we have done, we had similar exemption module for AvaTax as well, okay? Okay, so those are that's the list of apps. Notice that we have actually added a lot of documentation. That's one of the first things we did. There was not a lot of the documentation in the modules that Odoo published. So we just you can see on the module itself, you can find a lot of documentation for each of the modules. Okay. All right, now let's go and take a look at the settings. If you search in the setting for TaxCloud, you're going to find the old, in this version, we still have the Odoo connector, so you'll see the options for the old connector. And now here you'll see the option for the new connector, TaxCloud TC. You enter the API ID, API key. You can also define the default categories for the product. Those are the TaxCloud categories. Okay, so based on your choice on the product for this category, then TaxCloud will calculate the appropriate taxes. Okay. So if in general, all of your products have the same default category, you can already define it here. Of course, I'll show it to you that you can also define them on the product category and the product level. Here we added an option to be notified about updates. So once you have installed this module, if you want us to keep you up to date in terms of bug fixing or major updates, you can just click on this button, and then that will send us an email with your basic information, your contact information, and then we'll keep you informed. We also added a default tax template. So when the connector connects to TaxCloud and then receive the information about the tax from TaxCloud, it will recalculate the tax rate. The information is not yet in the API of TaxCloud, so you just get the tax amount and you recalculate the tax rate. And then if the tax rate already exists in Odoo, then the tax is used. But if the tax is not yet defined in Odoo, then the connector on the fly will just create the tax. But we thought it would be good to have a default tax template such that all the parameters, all the fields are copied from this specific tax. So for example, the tax account that are being used, if they are tax grades, they will be copied as well. And then the advanced option, all those fields, will be copied. I'm not going to go into the details of what all those fields are doing. This is the standard tax that's, object that is defined in Odoo, okay? But so we decided to set up a default template such that when the tax is created by the connector, then that all the parameters are copied from that tax. There's also an option that we added recently to skip zero invoices. So we had a customer that sometimes have invoices that have zero amount at the end, and so it gives them the option to skip sending those invoices to TaxCloud. We also added, don't compute tax for Amazon orders. So the main module of the Amazon the Amazon module of the TaxCloud connector was already avoiding sending invoices to TaxCloud, but it was still sending sales orders. So we added that feature. And then also, if your sales order doesn't have any amount of it, then even if you confirm it for some reason, it's not sending it to TaxCloud. Okay, so those are already option and improvement that we added to TaxCloud. Okay, let me go down now to the fiscal position. So in this case, there's only one. And if you're familiar with the way the taxes works in Odoo, this is a standard document in Odoo. Fiscal position, you will assign a fiscal position to a customer, or like in this case, you can detect automatically and assign this fiscal position to a sales order. In this case, we set it up such that any customer that has a delivery address in the United States, then this fiscal position will be, assigned. And here, you can see that it's, indicate that if this fiscal position is selected, then, the TaxCloud API will be used. Okay. And so Again, this is a standard document in Odoo. It's not really related to connector, but it's being used such that, if it's defined on the customer, then the tax from TaxCloud will be used, okay? All right, let me take a look at the product. Actually, let me start with the product categories. Where are they? Here, product categories. So on the product categories, so we already saw you can define a default TaxCloud category in the settings, but here you can also define a category that would be applied to all the products in that specific product categories. And then, following Odoo scheme, which is to define, fields on the product categories that can be overwritten on the product itself. It's the same idea here. So you also have the option of overriding the TaxCloud category on the product, okay? All right, so let me get to do a sales order. So going to a sales, I'm going to do a sales order for Deco Addict, okay? I'm gonna add a product and maybe change the quantity. All right, and then why don't we add a shipping? I'm gonna do a standard delivery at $50. We're gonna add that. Okay, as you can see so far, no taxes. Okay, so the taxes in this case being calculated on demand. You can see here there's a button, update taxes. So I'm going to click on that, and that connect to TaxCloud, calculate the taxes and set them up on the on the product line, and also calculate the total. Okay. Note also that the tax is going to be recalculated when you send, at the time you send the quotation by email or when you confirm it, okay? And so I'm going to confirm it. All right, and we can go and take a look at the result in TaxCloud. So in TaxCloud, once you log into that account, you can go to the developer menu and look at the API report, the latest transactions, and you will see, we should see the order we just did. So 1021, so it's exactly that transaction. Note that it's a lookup at this point, so it was just a lookup to find out what is the taxes for that that order, but it's not capturing it. Okay, so it's not recorded yet in TaxCloud as an order. So at this point, it's just for information, such that that the customer knows what will be the cost. So I'm going to now go to the delivery. Products are we always like to set them up as being invoiced based on the delivered quantity. Note here that a difference. No, sorry. We can then see that the quantity, the demand quantity is free, it's available. So I'm just going to validate this, okay? And so I can now go back to the sales order, and now that the delivery order is delivered, I can create the invoice. At the time, so I'm going to just do the regular invoice, no down payment in this case. And so that's a draft invoice. At this point, all what Odoo does is copying the taxes from the sales order. So not connected at this point, didn't connect at this point to TaxCloud, just copying the taxes from the, the sales order. Notice that the taxes are, slightly different, even though they're the same tax rate. In TaxCloud, so there's a little bit of an issue with the, tax rounding. The tax API, the TaxCloud API will provide the amount, so the tax rate has to be reconstructed. And as I said, at that time, based on the tax rate, the connector will try to find if the tax already exists in Odoo. If it doesn't exist, then it will create a new one based on the default template that we have. So the tax rate is not always, super accurate because of those rounding issues, but the tax amount will match, what is in TaxCloud. Okay. So sometimes our customer then choose not to show the taxes in the invoice report to avoid question related to that. Then we can then confirm that. All right, and at that point, we can go and take a look at the transaction in TaxCloud. So in the report that's shown here, I just did an advanced search to only test transactions, okay? Because at this point, those are just, test transaction, and we should be able to see the order ID 802. All right. Okay, I think I need to reload this. Here it is, 802. That's the correct amount. And you can see that, everything is properly recorded in TaxCloud. So at this point, it's an order recorded with TaxCloud. And if you are in a state where TaxCloud can report automatically for you to the states, then that would be automatically be included in the report that will be sent. Okay. So let me see that I told you everything so far. I think I missed on the sales order. Note that when you select Deco Addict, any customer in the US, then the fiscal position will be automatically selected, but that's a standard feature of Odoo. Also, the taxes is always calculated based on the delivery address. Of course, that's the place where you deliver the item. So you might have a customer in one state, and that customer asks you to deliver in other states, and that's this other state taxes that would be taken into account. Note also that if I add a product, and that's a feature we added, if I just take a random product, that product will be added, okay? And once I save it, at that point, the taxes is calculated automatically for that line. So even though when you add product before you confirm the sales order, it's not calculating the tax automatically. You have to click on update taxes. Once the sales order is confirmed, then the system will automatically connect to TaxCloud and calculate the proper taxes. Okay. What else? Okay, look at the result. Okay, automatically. Okay, that's it for the sales order and the invoice. Okay, for the invoice, let's take a look at the problem of canceling them. So at this point, Odoo had chosen to not let the invoices that are using TaxCloud to be canceled. I guess it's mainly for reason of traceability. You don't want to have an order in TaxCloud without the document in Odoo. So a possible improvement, we think it might be possible to allow for a resetting to draft in some cases. We're discussing that, and that's a possible future improvement. But in the meantime, if there's a problem with the invoice and you need to make some changes, you would need to first, issue a credit note. And so I'm going to do that. All right. I'm not going to change it in this case, and I'm going to confirm it. Okay. All right. And so at this point, we should see in TaxCloud on this document here that I opened previously that it has been returned. Okay. And you can see here the total are back to 0. And basically, you just have the initial lines and then the same lines with a negative amount. Okay. And if you do a partial, it will work as well. So if you have an invoice and you just need to do a partial refund, it will be indicated on the same document in TaxCloud and show you the amount that was returned. Okay. All right. What time is it? Okay. I'm going to do an example also with the e-commerce. So here I'm on the website. I'm in an incognito window so that the system doesn't recognize me. I'm going to go to the shop. I'll use the customized desk. I'll add it to the cart. I'll add an option. I'll proceed to checkout. At this point, there's no tax because it's anonymous so far. But when I go to the checkout, it's going to ask me for my information. I'm going to enter it like it's me in Florida. And then I'm going to continue the checkout. If that works, there we go. Okay, and at this point, you can see that a delivery was added as well, and that the tax is now properly calculated based on the Florida taxes. Okay, I can also pay it now. We just set it up such that the payment is easy in this case. It's gonna take a second. No, your payment has been processed. Fantastic. I can go back to my sales order. All right, here it is. The order I just did. Okay, you can see the invoice is created, and we should be able to also find it in TaxCloud. You can see the tax rate is 7%, which corresponds to Florida in this case. And let me see if I can find it quickly here in TaxCloud. So that's order 804, and we can see it here. Okay, so you can see, the tax rate matches 7%, and all the information is recorded in TaxCloud. Okay. I think I went through everything I wanted to go through, so I'm going to pass it back to Pat to go through the conclusion. So let me just, oh, no, sorry. I'll just summarize what I said. All right. Let me do that. All right. So we saw the basic features. This connector connect Odoo with TaxCloud, allowing automatic sales tax computation on sales order and invoices. It support invoicing, sales, subscription, even though I didn't show everything, but subscription, loyalty, e-commerce that I show, and Amazon by just not recalculating the taxes. It actually is compatible with multiple websites and multi-companies, if you wonder about that. It allows to setting the TaxCloud category at both the product and product category levels. And it computes the tax based on the delivery address like it should. Here are the improvement summary. I already talked about those, but I'll just summarize them again. The improvement that we already included. We added a lot of documentation for each module. we added that default tax template to apply tax configuration to new taxes created by the connector. We restrict editing of the delivery address on delivery order to ensure accuracy invoicing. Unfortunately, when I tried that, I was able to change it, so I have to look at that. Okay, I'm sorry about that. We enable automatic tax calculation when a line is added to a confirmed sales order. We introduce a notification option for major updates and bug fix notifications. And as I said at the beginning, we also added module for the tax exemptions, but that will be for, another webinar. We also did a bunch of technical improvements, but I'm not going to go to all list, but feel free to contact us or ask questions at the end if that interests you. Future improvement plan. We are planning to add an update tax button on invoice and credit notes. As I explained during the demo, the taxes are copied from the sales order to the invoice, assuming they will not change. And it's only once you confirm the invoice that then the information is sent to TaxCloud, and TaxCloud send back the real final taxes. We think it would be good to have an update tax button on the invoice that, the same way it's done on the sales order. We're thinking about maybe adding the option to cancel the invoices in some cases, especially for, when you enter an invoice, maybe there's a small change that needs to be done. It's not always convenient to have to create a credit note and reissuing the invoice. There's an issue with handling discounts with negative line. It's currently unsupported by the API. And so, TaxCloud is working on that. And once, the TaxCloud API accept that, then of course we'll add it on our side as well. Correct tax calculation with a free shipping coupon when a free shipping coupon is applied. It's actually using the wrong taxes at this point, and we're planning to fix that. The TaxCloud API returns the amount, not the rate, as I explained. That means we have to reconstruct the rate, and we're working with TaxCloud to include the tax rate in the information they send back. We're, of course, planning to release the version 18 very soon. It's almost ready. And we're also testing the migration to V18, not only from V17 to V18, but also from all the version. If somebody is using the Odoo code, what will happen when you migrate to V18 and switch to the new Odoo connector, as Odoo does not plan, doesn't have a TaxCloud connector in V18, okay? So those are the plans, and I think I'm done, and I'm gonna hand it back to Pat for the conclusions. Thank you.
No, awesome, Stephan. Thanks. And when you're doing a live demo like this, it's great to see that everything worked so smoothly. So thank you so much. I think, from my standpoint, there's a couple of important takeaways, from this session. One of the things we've been asked since TaxCloud, it was made that we wouldn't be an embedded app within Odoo any longer. Get a lot of questions about that when people initially we have introductory calls. I think the key thing to take away from here is that this integration that we have is far better than the one that's existed that Odoo originally built and supported. As you can see, there have already been numerous enhancements made to that integration. There's a roadmap for the integration to add increasing functionality. We're working on updates to our API that's going to add functionality that we'll be able to take advantage with Sodexis. So I think the way this is really played out from our standpoint, and we think from a end customer standpoint, is we now have a better integration. We have a great partner like Sodexis who's supporting the integration, who's updating the integration, and together, we'll continue to work together to provide one of the top solutions in the Odoo ecosystem for tax. And we're excited about the path forward for that. So with that, I will turn it back to Nuno, who is going to be able to moderate a Q&A section for those of you who may have questions.
Thanks a lot, Stephan and Patrick. Stephan, amazing demo, and Patrick, thanks for wrapping it up for us. Now I'll open the floor for the Q&A. As I told you in the beginning, for that you will have to click on the bottom right corner of your screen. You will see a small icon there with a triangle, square, and circle. If you click that, and you'll be able to then click on Q&A and submit your questions there. So please feel free to do it. We already have a question here. It's if I'm using BigCommerce or Shopify, can this integrate with Odoo?
Yeah, so the only issue is if the taxes is already calculated on those systems and sent to TaxCloud directly, then what you want is you don't want to send them again to TaxCloud, okay? First, you don't want to change the taxes because it's already calculated. That's what was communicated to the customer, and it's already sent to TaxCloud, so you don't want to send it again. So in this case, we would need to just add, the same way we added for Amazon, an option of not sending those kind of record to TaxCloud. There's an easy way to do it, which is not setting up any fiscal position on the sales order or the invoice, or we can just tell the system, add a little customization, don't send it to TaxCloud. Actually, I think Nuno or Patrick, for Shopify, you have a connector, right, to TaxCloud, or not?
We do. It's not calculating the sales tax. They'd be using Shopify Tax for the tax calculation.
And then they send it to
we
TaxCloud. Okay, that's fine. And then I don't know, do you have something for BigCommerce already, or
yes, yeah. With BigCommerce, we are providing the tax calculation at the time of checkout, right. So we'd be receiving those orders in real time.
So I think that the simple way would be to make sure that when you sync the orders between BigCommerce and Shopify is to make sure there's no fiscal position on the sales order, and then that will take care of it. But we could also, simply have that customization that says, don't send those orders to TaxCloud again.
And these are all things that, during the sales process, we work on understanding your order workflow. So we're able to provide the best recommendation of how those orders ought to flow in your environment.
Right. Yeah, it's of course going to depend on the connector that you use between Odoo and Shopify, or Odoo and BigCommerce. There are a few out there, but normally you should be able to set up, a fiscal position for those. And as long as you said, you don't set up a fiscal position, then it will not be sent to TaxCloud.
Thanks a lot for the explanation, Stephan. Also, we have another question from Alejandro. He's asking, if this integration is meant for TaxCloud, I am currently using TaxJar. Would it be possible to transfer the filings already recorded in other tools to Odoo and start using TaxCloud? Should I do it manually?
Can you repeat? I'm not sure. I think I missed the first part. Sorry.
So yeah, Alexander is currently using TaxJar and is wondering if it's possible to transfer the filings that are recorded already in other tools to Odoo and then start using TaxCloud.
The filing to the tax, in each state. Is that what he's talking about? Okay, will it be possible to transfer the filings already recorded in Odoo Tools to Odoo and start using TaxCloud. For him, let me see if he can clarify that.
Yeah, we'll wait for Alejandro to clarify. We have another question below. Is there an easy way to differentiate tax-exempt and taxable orders? We have certain customers' order types that cannot be charged tax.
Yeah, so with the tax exemption, that's very easy, okay? You can assign the tax exemption to the customer and then it won't be taxed. But the information will be in TaxCloud, which is important. The other way would be to not set up the fiscal position for those customers and just assign a tax-exempt fiscal position, but then it won't be recorded in TaxCloud, which might have impact on the tax calculation later on. Okay, so I would recommend to set up a tax exemption module and just declare that that customer is tax exempt. Okay.
Yeah, I would just add that, just remember there are, product-based exemptions, which is what Stephan, walked through in the demo, where you're entering in the tax code that, earns those exempt treatments in certain states for certain products. And then, of course, there's the exemption certificates, which is for an exempt buyer. So someone who's, reselling products, a government agency, things like that, who are presenting an exemption certificate at the sale. So those are the two ways that, exemptions are earned in sales tax.
Yeah, so Alessandro just specified. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's file. That's when you file a tax return, okay? And so an entry is created under each date with the tax amount collected and what was returned. Whether those entries created in the past might be transferred to my record in Odoo with this integration, so don't have to go back to TaxCloud. So I guess it's more like can you import those into TaxCloud, okay? Because Odoo doesn't have the information about the reporting, okay? Odoo connector will connect to TaxCloud and send them the information about the orders, and then TaxCloud will file the reports, okay? And so that information is in TaxCloud, and I imagine that it would be hard to import those into TaxCloud, but then I'm going to let Nuno, Patrick answer that part, okay?
Yeah, that's not something that, we normally do. I think situationally we could potentially look at doing something like that, but it's not something we normally do. A lot of our sales tax returns, particularly in the streamline states that I talked about, are simplified electronic returns that are in a very specific file format. TaxJar is not a SST certified service provider, so we really have a formatting issue between a filing that TaxJar would do in an SST state versus our simplified electronic return. But certainly we're happy to talk to you about it and see if there's something that's possible, but out of the box, that's not something we normally do.
We have one more question up here from Thomas. What is the expected delay between an Odoo version release and certifications of TaxCloud Connector?
Let me answer this way, okay? We're gonna try to get our version out before Odoo has the script out to do the migration to the new version.
It's a great way to put it.
Good answer.
Any more questions from the audience? I think Alejandro was clear with your, everything's clear now. I will just say that after the webinar, we will follow up with sending you everyone the recording, so you can also reply to that with any more like questions or other details that we're missing, and we will forward it to the right people and make sure all these questions will be addressed and further explained. Yeah, Stephan, Patrick, I think that's all we have for questions.
All right. Very good. Thank you all for joining. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the webinar. And please, if you need help with not only TaxCloud connector, but anything else related to Odoo, whether it's your own implementation, accounting, migration, whatever you need, Sodexis can help you with. So just let us know. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can always go to our website. It's very easy to book time with our sales team right via our website. So feel free to do that. We're happy to have consultative calls with you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everyone, for attending.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.